So, the another detail is focus in training.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of fun here. But every now and then I'll have lifters whose hands are on the bar for the next rep and they're looking up and they're still talking to somebody. That needs to tighten up immediately. When you're addressing the bar, getting ready for a rep, your mind has to be tight. All the distractions have to be pushed out. Your world comes down to you and that bar and nothing else. And that's also something that gets better and better with practice. And if you see world-class athletes, they're like that in the training hall addressing an empty bar. You'll see them laughing and joking around when they're stretching, but once their hands hit the bar, it's game on. Let's see. I'm trying to think of other details, things I've harped on. I harp a lot. I call it coaching, but it's really nagging. It's the first 2 times you say it, it's a coaching cue. After that, you're just nagging. Oh, I'm glad you can edit parts of this out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And I'm trying to think of, how to extend this. It has always bugged me, that putting people on a pedestal thing. Fans can afford to do that. That's being a fan, treating them as something super special. You can never get starstruck, never think of that somebody that you're chasing. You can emulate their habits, the good ones, because even the great people have some bad habits, but emulate their habits, but you can't make them something more special than you. Yeah, I've got, 5 or 6 people with enough talent to make it to a session at nationals, and at least 2 or 3 with enough talent to win it. It'll take attention to those details, being coachable, and some luck. But, they could do it, but you've got to nail down the details. Mark Cannella is a guy I often reference when I'm talking about this. He coaches at Columbus Weightlifting now, good friend of mine. When he started weightlifting, he was with Fraser Ferguson, an old-time barbell guy and physical culture guy from the 40s and 50s, who knew the basics of the lifts, but not real well. And he started the sport with him, and he realized quickly the shortcomings of the space that they had to train, the time Fraser had to give him, and what Fraser knew. So he sought out a better coach in a better situation. Quit his job, drove all the way to Washington to train with Calpians and John Thrush. He was with Calpians and John Thrush for years. He thought that he wasn't learning to snatch as well as he could. His snatch lagged behind. Mm-hmm. So he sought out a coach who taught the snatch really well, and he moved down to train with Bob Tucano, and that's more or less where he finished his career, is training with Bob Tucano in LA. But his job, his relationships, where he lived, were all dictated by his goals in the sport. Because you have to become that single-minded if you're going to get to the top. Mm-hmm. But people are great at convincing themselves that these, raw, incontrovertible facts aren't facts. That they have a different way to do it. I can do it this way. No, you can't. Sure, there are some players who are so special, so explosive, so naturally strong, so athletic that they can play in the NFL without going to a weight room. You probably count those players on one hand. Mm-hmm. Everybody else is going to have to get in the weight room and get stronger, or they're going to get the hell beat out of them. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, if virtually everybody in the A session at Nationals did X to get there, odds are pretty good you're going to have to do X to get there.
I don't know, I feel pretty good with that.
Because you want like 5-minute snippet or something like that.
Yeah,
we're working on the attention span of the audience.
Yeah. We're like 15 and a half minutes, and the first couple minutes, Well, I shouldn't say first couple. Probably like the minute will take off, and then I can split it halfway through and edit down. So probably looking at two 6-minute segments.
Okay.
Part one,
If you
part
can get a clear, like part 1, part 2 of the same topic, more or less.
two. Yeah. And I think when you started on the
details.
detail one and the story about like Mark and everything like that works as a really good part 2, because that came out to be about 4-ish minutes right there. So
Okay. All right.
yeah.
I like doing this. I can't believe I talk. Well, I'm a technician. Apparently, Seb dubbed me the people's technician. That's it. he calls it himself, like the people's fan or the people's interviewer, and his co-host is the people's scientist. Glenn Pendley's on all the time, so he calls him the people's coach. So he tags everybody the people's something. I guess I'm now the people's technician.